Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. My name is Michael Fletcher, and oh my God, what did we just witness just minutes ago? Wow. SmackDown Live, Hell in a Cell on the WWE Network and on all major pay per view platforms. And we just witnessed an insane show. There's really nothing more that I can say about this, guys. I actually was fortunate enough to see the main event. And we're just gonna dive right in. Oh my God, what a show. All right, let's do it. Alongside Anthony Florio, Dee Woodson, and Michael Bullock. They're going to be running a three-person weave, as you guys know. So we're just going to dive right in. The first thing we had was the pre-show fight, which was Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Hype Bros. Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin wins the match at 10 minutes and 20 seconds. That's fine. But now we're going to get into the big show. It started out with Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Usos versus the New Day. Biggie Langston and Xavier Woods representing the New Day in the Hell in a Cell match. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout and new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, have won the titles. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
And I wouldn't have it any other way, Michael Fletcher. Let me tell you something. Last night I called out SmackDown Live to step up. Y'all did. And this is how you started it off right here. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this was only the second best fight of the night. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Whoa. 4 to 4.25 stars is the best I can go. Question I have to ask was, that was the opening match? Damn. It was violent as hell, and that's not a criticism. This was a terrific brawl that was perfect within the Hell in a Cell structure. I like the call to go with the Usos as champions again, as they can continue to feud with New Day, as well as Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, whereas the New Day didn't have any strong heel teams to face once they wrapped up their feud with the Usos. But honestly, I thought this was going to be the show stealer. No, it was not the show stealer. What was? Well, you'll find that out. Because we're going to have a lot to say about that particular match. I know we're all going to be in agreement on that. So, oh my goodness. I mean, after everything we witnessed here tonight, I mean, I said SmackDown needed to step it up, and this Raw guy, in the immortal words of Wayne's World, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. In fact, I'm not worthy. I'm sweating bullets here, guys. Oh my goodness. That's all I can say on that. So, I don't know what else there is to say except 4.25 stars. Second best fight of the night. I thought this was going to be the show stealer, but no, it was not. And that's saying something. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Are you sweating butter like me, buddy?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was sweating bullets after what the hell we just witnessed. But we'll definitely have a lot to say about it. As far as this match goes, 4.25 to almost 4.5 stars. I mean, and this is only the second best fight of the night. And this was the opening match. I mean, you talk about to set the tone for tonight's Hell in a Cell, and I mean, it was violent. I mean, we saw a lot of weapons being used. I mean, we saw kendo sticks being used. We saw handcuffs where basically Xavier Woods was handcuffed to the post, and their version of the Uso Penitentiary with the kendo sticks. I mean, and Francesca, well, was used in the match too and got broken in half. So, and this was a damn good match to start off this this edition of Hell in a Cell, and certainly a very good tone setter for what was to come on tonight's pay-per-view. So, well done to the Usos. Well done to the New Day. They should be commended for the great match they put on to start off this edition of Hell in a Cell. 4.25, teetering on 4.5, and I can't believe this is only the second best fight of the night. So, Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson, come on in. And how are you feeling after tonight?
Wow. I'm still speechless from the main event, and so I'll wait and save that to talk about a little bit later when we get there. But wow, I would definitely say this was a pay-per-view that was definitely worth the money, whether you bought it through the network or not. I would say you actually got your money's worth tonight out of this. I mean, this was just amazing how this went off tonight. I mean, even the kickoff match was good, even though one thing, of course, weren't non-major pay-per-views, but still, I mean, wow, just very good matches tonight. This one, I mean, first ever tag team Hell in the Cell. Wow, I mean, are we even going to have a new trombone come Tuesday night? I guess we'll find out here soon. But wow, I mean, it was. I don't even know where to start talking about, but I'll agree with the rating on it. So just move on. I'm just speechless.
The next thing we had was Randy Orton go one-on-one with Rusev. Randy Orton, the winner. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Well, I can tell you what right now. I mean, this match here to me was far better than the two previous matches they had. I mean, that short match on SmackDown Live and the match they had at SummerSlam. So I'm going to give this about somewhere between 2.5 to maybe even 3 stars at best. I mean, even though I'm leaning more towards the 2.5. I mean, good match. I mean, it was a good match for what it was. I mean, it was about, according to the 411, was about 11 minutes and 40 seconds. But yeah, I mean, you needed a little bit of a cool down after a great way to start off the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So yeah, I mean, Randy Orton gets the win with the RKO, and as soon as I saw that happen, I knew somewhere Michael Fletcher was doing the famous Randy Orton pose that he likes to do after every Randy Orton win. So yeah, so good match for what it was, 2.5 to 3, but I'm leaning more towards like 2.5. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, this match was definitely better than the two previous matches.
Definitely better. Yeah, I'd kind of agree with the rating. It was definitely a good cool down match. Definitely if you haven't seen it yet, definitely worth your time to watch. Because there was a lot of good stuff in the match. Including Ziggler coming out. I mean, they played his theme, but then they shut it off before he walked out there. So I mean, he came out to silence, which was kind of odd, but at the same time, it fit the storyline he'd been going going with up to this point, but I'm just hoping that this ends this crazy thing that we've got going on here with Ziggler. So not much more I had to say about it. I'm sure Florio has a lot to say, so I'll toss it over to you.
No, not that much. I'll make it short and sweet as well. 2.5 to 3. I definitely agree. I said it was going to be a more competitive match, and go figure, I was right on that. Good effort from both men. They had the unenviable task of following the opener, but they came through and they actually had the crowd with them. I'm surprised we didn't see Aiden English get involved, but nonetheless, this was better than expected. And at that point, the show was off to a very strong start, and it set the tone for what ended up being a much better show than I honestly, for my money, expected. So there's nothing more to say except 2.5 to 3. A much better match than the previous two. So MF, we move on, and we move on to the United States Heavyweight Championship match, and a little indemnity was made, courtesy of our certain yes man general manager, and I believe, in the immortal words of you and your idol Gorilla Monsoon, I believe history was made as well.
Well, first off, let me talk about that indemnity, then I'll go into that other part. Number one, during the pre-show, Daniel Bryan made a decree and added the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger to the match. So therefore, this was a triple threat for the United States Heavyweight Championship. It was now Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin versus the reigning and defending champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles, the winner of the bout, and the new United States Heavyweight Champion, the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin. He wins the title. Dee Woodson, it is all yours, love.
Are you two ready to eat crow yet? Because if I'm going by my notes, you guys said AJ was going to retain, and I was the only one who went with Corbin.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But I didn't get to see the fight, so I don't know how he won it. So once I see it, once I see it, then I'll go from there. But Florio's probably eating the humble pie right now. I'm working.
Well,
I was working, so I missed it.
Well, Dee Woodson, since I wasn't on, on the preview last night, I was gonna go with AJ Styles as well. So I think you might have to make it 3.
Well, I didn't include you in that because you weren't on the show, so because I didn't know what you were going to pick. But yeah, when it came up to my turn last night on the show, I think I led this one off. I said I wanted to see AJ win it, but I have to go with my gut and say Corbin was going to come out. And this is even before we knew they were going to throw Ty into the mix. And I mean, that's just added to the whole thing of here you had this unexpected factor that just they threw into this whole match, and nobody expected that to happen, I don't think, but it did. I mean, we had a triple threat, and now we have a brand new United States champion, and I don't care exactly, how he won. I just, I knew he was going to win, and I don't know how I knew. I just knew it was going to happen. But in my opinion, I think the match went really, really well. I'm going to shoot it with probably a 3 to 3.5 star. Because I actually like this one. I thought this was a good way to pick things back up after Rusev and Orton. And start kind of building some of the excitement back up into the pay-per-view. So not much more I have to say about it. So I'm going to toss it over to Florio.
What was your rating there, Edie? I got a little sidetracked.
3 to 3.5.
That's about right. Yeah. 3 to 3.5. Another top fight of the night. Solid match with the formula of having one man down at ringside while the other two fought inside the ring more often than not. Dillinger being added to the match somewhat did nothing for me, even though he deserved the opportunity. It was because I was looking forward to seeing the singles match. But obviously, the idea was to have Styles drop the title without being pinned. Dillinger continues to be good inside the ring, but he just hasn't connected beyond the 10 gimmick. It's not really his fault. It's not like creative has given him many chances on the mic. Corbin winning the title is obviously good for him. I like that it gets Styles out of the secondary title picture and back into the world title picture where he honestly belongs. So what happened was AJ hit the phenomenal forearm on Ty Dillinger, but then Baron Corbin kicked Styles, threw him outside the ring, and then scooped up Dillinger for the 1, 2, 3. So it was basically one of those ultimate opportunist moments, and that's how Baron Corbin won the U.S. Championship. So 3 to 3.5 stars, and well, yep, I'll take that humble pie as well. I'll takes a man to admit when he's wrong, and I was wrong, and MF was wrong, and obviously Bullock admitting he would have been wrong too if he was with us. But nonetheless, we have a new United States Heavyweight Champion in the form of, and I got to do it in my best Greg Hamilton, Baron Corbin. Nothing left to say except MF. Let's move on to our next championship bout.
Whoa. Did you forget about me?
Florio, dipsy do botcheroo on your part. Mike Bullock, go ahead.
Call me out.
I'm not gonna call you out. You basically, I'm not gonna.
It's the excitement. It's the excitement of the.
Yeah, I think Bullock just nailed you. I didn't even need to do anything. It was one of those where I'm trying to break you two up, and then Bullock just comes up with a sucker punch. Heel like Phenom. All right, Bullock, go ahead. It's yours.
Yeah, I'll say 3 to 3.5 stars as well. I mean, I thought this was a really good match here, and yeah, Baron Corbin. I mean, he channeled his inner rated R superstar Edge, becoming the ultimate opportunist when AJ Styles hit his finishing maneuver and basically just booted AJ out of the ring and basically got the pinfall on Ty Dillinger and became the new United States champion. And basically after the match is when he basically in front of the people's faces. This is like basically him saying hi, or basically how remember that time how we buried Baron Corbin after he lost to John Cena at SummerSlam. Well, maybe this was his way of sticking it right in our faces, saying, "Hey, how do you four wannabe wrestling experts think of me now?" So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. 3 to 3.5 stars. So now let's move on, Fletch.
And we move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship fight. Natalya puts the title on the line against Charlotte Flair, the winner of the bout by disqualification. Charlotte Flair, you cannot win the title on a DQ, so therefore, still SmackDown Women's Champion Natalya. And I believe this one goes to Anthony Florio. So, Anthony.
Yes.
It is all yours, my friend. Charlotte Flair wins the belt, wins the match, but does not become the champion. We had a DQ finish.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, we had a DQ finish, a weak finish. I was convinced that Natalya attacking the knee of Charlotte was a setup for Charlotte sneaking out a win and then dropping the title moments later to Carmella in the Money in the Bank briefcase. I kept waiting for Daniel Bryan to come out and announce that this match wasn't going to end in that fashion. Instead, we got a flat finish that will obviously lead to a rematch, considering the challenger won by DQ. Usually that means the challenger is entitled to another shot. But nonetheless, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. Perfectly fine match with good selling from Charlotte. The main issue is that Natalya is not a great heel, and Charlotte is not a sympathetic babyface at all. I wonder if they may be holding the title change for the Starrcade event to try to make it come off as special, you know, considering it's going to be Greensboro, North Carolina, and you know that's the heart and soul of Flair country, and you know maybe they want to continue the Flair legacy down there. I mean, that's just a thought. So nothing left for me to say on this except 2.5 stars. And when's the rematch going to go down? We'll have to find out. So Charlotte will obviously get a rematch, and that's all I can say on that. Fine match, but a weak finish. So 2.5 stars. Michael Bullock, Charlotte and Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship, the fourth different championship these two have competed under in a singles match. First, it was the NXT Women's Championship. Then it was the Divas Championship, the WWE/Raw Women's Championship, and now the SmackDown Women's Championship. So, all right, Bullock, how did the latest Charlotte and Natalya title match come off here? Their fourth different one. Bullock, are you with us?
I didn't know it was my turn. Yeah. What did you give the match, Florio?
I gave it 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I think that's the correct rating. 2.5 stars. I mean, it did have a little bit of a weak finish with Natalya basically pulling the steel chair on the bad knee of Charlotte. I mean, it really made her look bad, even bad after this match. I mean, I don't think she's really that much of a she's that good of a heel, if I'm going to be quite honest. I mean, Charlotte playing the babyface really well with how she's the knee injury and the attack afterwards, and yeah, so I don't know what's next for these two. Maybe we get a rematch this coming Tuesday night on SmackDown Live, because remember what they, I mean, because of course Charlotte won by disqualification because the way Natalya saved her title. I think a rematch is going to be in order. So 2.5 stars. I mean, it was fine for what it was. It's just the ending was a little not too impressive. So Dee Woodson, your thoughts on it, and you think we're getting another match between these two because of the DQ finish?
More than likely, yeah, they'll get a rematch. But for me, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. Granted, the match was great until you got to that ending, but I definitely feel like ranting on that ending. I mean, come on, do we have to have the cheap shot just because she doesn't want to put up with fighting a injured opponent? I mean, come on, it's a bunch of BS. I don't condone it. I don't like the way it ended. I don't think that they should have ended it that way, because it just cheapens Natalya's title reign even more. So, you know, I will, you know, like I said, I'll give it 2.5 stars because they did go out there and they did a great job even with the injury. But in the end, Natalya, I think, just kind of tarnished everything. So not much more I had to say about it. So let's move on.
From there, we move on to the next fight of the night, which is the big one for the WWE title. The challenger, the artist formerly known as Shinsuke Nakamura, goes up against the reigning, defending WWE champion, the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, along with the Singh brothers. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout and still WWE champion, Jinder Mahal. I believe this is where Michael Bullock, you get to lead off on the match. The modern day Maharaja, he did it. He successfully defended the title.
Yes, he did. He did successfully defend the title. I'm gonna give it about I'm gonna give it about 2 stars as my rating for the match. I mean, it was fine for what it was, but I just really wasn't impressed with this match. Basically, I don't think a lot of people were into it. Some people think this match was, it was just boring and basically, yeah. So, I hope that this is the end. But obviously, I think the reason why they kept him as WWE champion because I think WWE is going to be going to India, so obviously they want him to still be champion. Because of that, but yeah, I thought it was fine for what it was, but the thing is, I just thought part of the match was boring, and I think the fans, I don't think were really into it. So, D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
To me, this was the worst fight of the night. The fans were bored. They chanted boring in the match. They were quiet. About the only time you really saw any light was for maybe 1 or 2 big moves that Nakamura got. Singh's got ejected. Yay. At least the ref got onto that. But at the same time, came in too late to make a count, giving Jinder time to recoup. But in the end, since the Singhs weren't down there, it was finally a legit win. He finally was able to pull it off without these 2 bozos actually being at ringside for the whole thing. Yeah, they did get involved though, but they weren't involved with the decision. So I'm only going to give it 1.5 stars. Like I said, worst fight of the night. Not much more I have to say about it. Florio, it's yours.
Amen, D.D. Woodson. You got this right. 100% absolutely spot on. Worst fight of the night by a country mile. 1.5 stars. You're absolutely spot on here. Oh, my Lord. All right. Jinder Mahal works the match, and this was it. It's boring, lifeless, no drama, always has BS, and then he wins so we can do it all again. I don't ask for much in this world. I just want to be entertained, guys. And Jinder Mahal fails at that in the ring. Now, I don't expect a Flair Steamboat 5-star classic by any means, but give me something, please. Nakamura actually felt like he was trying tonight, but you can only do so much with the Mahal special. I gave the guy a chance. I hope he'd get better, but I'm sorry, he hasn't. Deflating match for Nakamura fans, or even for fans who are simply bored by the Mahal title reign. Where does Nakamura even go from here after losing to Mahal after the Singhs were ejected? Get that weak sauce out of here. That's all I can say on that. Get that weak sauce out of here.
And this is probably the worst WWE Championship reign I've seen in a long time.
Oh, man, Bullock. It's up there. It's up there. I didn't mind. When he beat Randy Orton,
I was behind this at first, but...
Yeah, at first I was fine with it.
But now it's beginning to be beyond the point of go away.
He's got the X-Pac heat, man. He's got the X-Pac heat. That's all there is to it. Can't wrestle for beans. He couldn't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag. And, And
he's making that title look like a freaking joke.
Most prestigious championship of all
time. The most
time.
Prestigious title in history, and he can't even make it relevant. What a freaking joke that is.
Hallelujah, Bullock. Hallelujah. That's all there is to say on that.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, you've had so many great superstars who've held this title. I mean, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. I mean, I could go so on and on with this.
Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, let's not forget about him. And, right now, if all those guys I mentioned were able to wrestle, they'd probably beat the crap out of him for making that title look like a freaking joke. You are such a douchebag, Jinder Mahal, for making that title look irrelevant.
Memo.
I guess
Memo to any professional wrestling company. Do not, I repeat, do not put your most prestigious championship on a man who I still consider a glorified jobber. Period. And a statement and a quotation. MF, I see you want to say something.
I'll let Fletcher say something.
Well, I was gonna say was WWE rolled the dice on somebody different. They want, and here's the thing: you guys have blatantly said that you always wanted a fresh face as the face of the company. You always wanted somebody different to be the WWE champion. Right now, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call Dee Dee hasn't said anything, so I'm not going to call her out on this, but Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock, you two gentlemen are freaking hypocrites right now. And I'm calling both your asses out for this.
What are you talking about?
You have always preached about giving opportunities for somebody to be a WWE champion. You're always like, oh, I want somebody different who's going to revolutionize the thing.
Yeah,
and
but the thing is,
I mean, hold on, wait, time out, Bullock.
I was behind this at the beginning, but as the months progressed, he's made the title look like a joke.
I think Fletch has the floor.
And here's the thing. And I'm gonna open the floor, and this is what I'm gonna say. For the longest time, you guys were always saying about the fresh face and the whole 9 yards. And granted, I'm not gonna say anything about how bad the reign has been for Jinder Mahal because it's been bad. I'll give you that. But for you guys to basically jump down on the throat and say that this is bad, and I'm like, okay. But for the longest time, you guys were always preaching about how you wanted a fresh face as the champion. And that's where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to say what you guys were saying, but I think it's hypocritical that you guys, saying that, and bringing about the legacy of other great champions. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that, and that's fair enough. But man, that's a little bit of a brutal hit because you always were preaching about how you wanted, a different champion and wanted that to be something greater. And I'm like, okay, and I'll get it. The lineage of the WWE title it goes way back. And yes, it did start with Bruno Sammartino, and he was the first recognized WWE champion of our time. But if you really think about it, in this day and age, it's like, man, I understand why WWE went for it. And I get it. I mean, they wanted to do a different market. They wanted to go into India, try to elevate that wrestling hotbed because lo and behold, TNA was the first to actually go into India and try to take it. And I got to give credit where credit's due to them. But WWE, they want to take an opportunity. That's why they're making all these bigger things. Here's the one thing, back in the day, they were thinking about pushing Muhammad Hassan to be WWE champion. If it wasn't for all the rhetoric that he was throwing, his anti-American, basically how he was, his anti-American sentiments, especially after 9/11 and all that stuff about, him being Arab from Afghanistan and the whole 9 yards. They were really going to try to push him for the belt. I get it where you're coming from, but I think it's kind of hypocritical because of the fact that at the very beginning, you two gentlemen were all on board about Jinder Mahal being the champion, and now all of a sudden you're jumping ship quicker than the bubonic plague? I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll get more into this Tuesday night on the Cerebral Smack Talk, and I'm very damn well sure we will get into this, and or we can take this behind the scenes. So, with that said, we'll move on. Next fight of the night, it was Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. The glorious Bobby Roode gets the victory. Dee Woodson, I'll give it to you.
Oh, okay. Not too sure how I'm going to follow the little rant there, but in my defense, I don't care who has the title. I just want you to be relevant with it, and I want you to be able to perform a match and perform it successfully, defending the title successfully, and not pulling out a bunch of BS. There, I've said my piece. Okay, this match, I'm giving it 2 stars. Wasn't real crazy about it. Didn't really do much. I'm sure it was supposed to be a cool down match from the title match, but the title match sucked. So, not much to say about this match. Other than, Ziggler did pull the low blow there at the end after the whole match was over. And all the roll-up pins there at the end was kind of annoying. So I'm going to let Florio take this for a spin, and I'm stepping out of it.
And as far as I'm concerned about the whole Mahal thing, I mean, yes, I've always preached about fresh faces in the championship picture. Yes, I will give you that, MF, absolutely. But at the same time, I mean, it's just like Dee said. I want someone who can, who can take the ball and run with it. And I just haven't felt that. And that's why I had to, say what I had to say about it. And I know Bullet feels the same way, but we'll get into that another day in time. So that's really all I can say there. And I need that. Sometimes I do need that that punch in the mouth, that reminder. And that's what MF does. So I appreciate that, MF. So, okay, as far as this is concerned, second worst fight of the night. 2-star match. Didi's absolutely spot on here. Bland match. Felt way too long and did nothing to feature Roode. Worst of all, the feud's going to continue. Ziggler likes to joke on Twitter, but he feels so checked out and phoned in and like he doesn't care at this point. So, I felt bad for these guys in that they played to a crowd that was really flat coming out of that awful championship match. Granted, the fans popped for Roode's entrance, but it was tough going from there. As expected, we haven't seen the last from these two, so nothing more to say there. 2 stars, that's the best I can go. Second worst fight of the night. If the title match, didn't stink up the joint like it did, this would have been the worst fight of the night. But you guys got a reprieve, so that's all I can say. So 2 stars, Bullet. Let's get your thoughts.
Yeah. 2 stars is my rating for it. And as far as the title match, I have to give it 1.5 stars. I gotta rescind from that. So fine match for what it was, but yeah, this was the second worst fight of the night. But in the end, Bobby Roode's victory, shall I say, was glorious. Nothing more to say.
All right. There's only one thing. Yeah, it is time. It's time. And this one was more than just glorious. This one's going to be talked about around the water cooler for the next 72 hours before we can get back. Well, actually say 48 hours before we get to the next SmackDown Live. It was Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens, Hell in a Cell. And my goodness, it delivered on all fronts. This was one heck of a main event. The brawl was amazing. They went they brought all the weapons inside the ring. Then they decided, you know what? The hell with it. We're going outside of the cell, and they went to the roof. That's right. They went 20 feet high, did a little high spots there, 2 table crashes. But the biggest thing was, well, Shane McMahon laid Kevin Owens on the announce table of SmackDown Live, the English announce table. And he did the leap of faith, that death-defying elbow drop, and he went crashing to a table. But what we did not know was Sami Zayn grabbed Kevin Owens and saved him. The next thing we know, he throws Kevin Owens on top of Shane McMahon while medical personnel was trying to get Shane McMahon all in a gurney and the whole 9 yards, on a backboard and the whole 9 yards. Then tells Mike Chioda to count it down. 1, 2, 3. The fight is over. Kevin Owens has won Hell in a Cell. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, my friend.
There's nothing left for me to say. Fight of the night. It's not often we do this. I think we're all in agreement on this one, my friends. 5-star classic. Whoa, did I just say that? I was honestly expecting to say that about the New Day and the Usos. That was 4.25 to 4.5 now. This was a 5-star classic. Second longest Hell in a Cell match in history. Only the Triple H and Shawn Michaels Hell in a Cell from Bad Blood 2004 was longer. That one went 48 minutes and 27 seconds, I believe. This one went for between 38 minutes and 48 seconds to an even 39 minutes. Whoa. And they gave us that. Whoa. Unbelievable. I mean, the spots were insane. The storytelling was top notch. And then we got the big surprise with the shocking heel turn of Sami Zayn saving his quote unquote best friend Kevin Owens. And you kind of had a sense it was coming. I mean, you saw what happened on you saw what happened last week on SmackDown Live when Sami was trying to, calm Shano down but Shano blew him off, and that kind of turned on that little light bulb there. The light bulb little went off there. But man alive, I mean, told a great story with Shane fighting until the end, and then the Sami appearance for the big ending and tease heading into Tuesday night's show. It was a Shano stunt show, but it will give people a lot to talk about coming out of the show. And the signs were certainly there, given the way that Shane blew up Zayn on SmackDown Live. So a lot of us had our guards up for the possibility. The brawl on top of the cage felt like it went on a little longer than it needed to, but this was quite the spectacle match and one insane bump by Shane. His last bump off the structure was onto a crash pad of some kind, whereas this one didn't have the same deflation gimmick. But this ranks up there. When it comes to fights of the year, I think this certainly needs to go up there. No question about it. I mean, my top 10, my top matches of the year reads like a who's who. I mean, there's this one. There's that three stages of Hell match from the Lucha Underground, that Ultima Lucha Trace with Dante Fox and Killshot. That was a 5-star classic as well. I even got to throw in another great match from Ultima Lucha Trace that went down this past week with Marty the Moth Martinez and Phoenix, the hair versus mask. That I consider that around 4.5 and 5, considering the emotion that played out in that bout. And I know MF's going to have a lot more to say about that on Tuesday night in his Mikey's Mindset. And, of course, Kenny Omega and Okada from the Wrestle Kingdom 11, which, as of now, is still my number one. But like I said, it reads like a who's who. Of course, AJ and Cena from the Rumble. That was a 5-star classic. And, so much more. But when it comes to WWE Match of the Year, this is it. This is my WWE Match of the Year. It made Styles and Cena from the Rumble look like a freaking dud. That's all I can say on that. So, hats off to Shane McMahon, hats off to Kevin Owens, and hats off to Sami Zayn for that shocking ending. So, that's how you do it. That's Shakespearean drama at its absolute finest. I complained about, not being entertained with Jinder Mahal and all that. I was royally entertained on this. I could even go as far as to say it's going to rank up there as one of the greatest Hell in a Cell matches of all time. Is it? No. I still think it's end of an era from WrestleMania 28. But this definitely is now in my top 3. Well done. Well done. 5-star classic, WWE Match of the Year, Fight of the Night. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, how do you follow that?
I don't even know how the heck you follow that, but Fight of the Night, 5 stars. I mean, oh man, I mean, I still can't get over this match. I mean, we saw everything in this match. I mean, all the bumps and bruises from chairs being, tables being used, but then when they took the fight outside the cell, that's when it got real interesting, especially when they fought on the top of the cell. And I'll be quite honest, I mean, I was literally at the edge of my seat when they were at the top of the cell. And then, of course, the sick fall from Kevin Owens when he went through the first announce table, but then Shane McMahon doing his thing from the top of the cell, the sick landing, and the shocking thing with Sami Zayn pulling Kevin Owens off. And yeah, it looks like Sami Zayn's now a heel. So what's going to happen with Sami Zayn now that he's a heel? We're just going to have to find out the answers come Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. But to me, the WWE Match of the Year, and I got to give kudos to both competitors, Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, and yes, even Sami Zayn for the heel turn. So we know for sure Shane McMahon's not going to be at SmackDown Live tomorrow night. After that sick fall that he took, no way. But WWE Match of the Year, I definitely agree with that. And yeah, and this was coming after what we saw back at No Mercy when John Cena and Roman Reigns put on a damn good match. But this match here, it made that match look like a freaking dud. That's how entertained I was by it. So, Fight of the Night, 5 stars. Fight of the Year in WWE. Dee Woodson, what are you gonna say about this? This insanity we just saw.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, I was basically speechless. Had a hard time even talking about the first match because of the fact that we just got through watching this. And it's like, wow. Shane definitely is not going to be there Tuesday night for SmackDown. More likely he will still be in a medical facility. Medical facility. My husband just thought I said mental facility when I said medical facility. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, I definitely, 2 thumbs up to both Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. They definitely knocked it out of the park. Definitely the match of the night. Definitely for me the match of the year so far. I don't know how they're going to top this one off. But then again, just about every match I've seen that was a Hell in a Cell for Shane McMahon, Shane's found some way of topping himself, and it's like, whoa. You know, I pretty much knew he was going to jump off the top of the cage. I still call this match an oxymoron because the referees weren't going to let them out of the cage because that's what the cage is made for. That's why it was invented, was to keep the competitors in the cage and and try to keep the interference from coming from outside. And of course, you know, Shane cut the bolt. They all spill out. They definitely took several personal hits that were unprotected, you know, because, you know, a lot of times when they fall, you know, they'll catch themselves with the hands, but you can't see it because it's so fast. But they still get hurt doing it. But there's a couple of bumps that Shane actually took that, I mean, there's no way you could catch yourself on that, especially when they got on the roof. And did anybody else notice that Kevin Owens looked a little terrified up there? Does he have a fear of heights? I mean, and then he was in such a hurry to get down.
He does. He actually does have a legit fear of heights. Yes,
Kevin Owens. So.
Kevin Owens is not really too keen on, especially because that's about 20 feet up. I mean, there's nothing to sneeze at there.
And then add his 6 foot height on top of that.
Yeah.
And then you have the head of Kevin Owens 26 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you know, I could pretty much tell because he looked like he was terrified up there. And of course, we all know Shane McMahon has no fear of doing anything like that. He's like the Jeff Hardy of the McMahon family. He has no fear up there.
He's the freaking evil Knievel, for God's sakes.
Right.
No, he does. It's all about making the fans want more. If you love it enough, he's going to be that crash test dummy, and he's going to do it because it's best for business.
Yep.
And that's why he's put on so many entertaining matches when he does those Daredevil like stuff.
And it makes us wonder, and this was the thing I was so freaking afraid of Shane McMahon doing, because of the fact that he is not a spring chicken. And this is what I was afraid of, that they were going to do this crazy junk, go up to the cell, and when I thought I was saying a prayer, and you know me, I don't really do the prayer thing and the whole 9 yards or the whole 9 or everything. That's more Anthony. That's more D.D. Woodson. But I was saying a couple of prayers or two for Shane McMahon when he was going up that cell, because I'm like, oh my God, please don't die.
Right. And
you think Shane McMahon would have learned? And you think Shane McMahon would have learned from what happened the last time he was in Hell in a Cell?
And we got to see Shane's signature move there also in the match with the East Coast, West Coast. Yep, East Coast, West Coast. You know, and, you know, during the match, I pulled up, you know, the stats on the guys. I mean, Shane has 2-inch advantage over Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens has like a 36-pound advantage over Shane McMahon, and it's like, whoa, you know, the size and everything is pretty close on these two guys. And then here you have them slamming each other. I don't know how many times, I lost count, on top of that cage, hitting their heads, hitting their knees, hitting, you know, their body parts, not just on the cage itself, but on the metal that holds each sheet to that cell to make it a cell. And, you know, seeing Shane sitting there holding the back of his head, I was surprised he didn't bust the back of his head open as hard as he hit on some of those. But, you know, it's definitely, was a scary thought. I mean, Shane's only about 3 years older than I am, and seeing this guy get up there and take these bumps at 47, it's like, whoa, it's unreal. You don't really expect him to be able to do something like that, but he did. He's able to get up there and do this. Yeah, he's going to be paying for it in the morning with his body hurting, but I guarantee you this is not going to be the last time we're going to see Shane getting up there and doing that. I've already compared him to Jeff Hardy. He's also the Undertaker of the McMahon family. We're not going to see him back down anytime soon. He's going to keep coming back. And he's going to, he's going to be out here doing this again, probably on another either WrestleMania or Hell in the Cell or something. We'll see him again, possibly up there doing some sort of a crazy stunt. Right, Callie? Yeah. She actually watched part of this match with us. She watched part of the main event. But yeah, this is definitely a 5-star classic. In her case, 4 paws.
The first ever 4 paw, the first ever 4 paw rated from Callie the Wonder Cat. Nice. And of course there is Tiger Lee, who's the other who's our other mascot. We got 2 mascots now in the family. So Callie Page and Tiger Lee. So welcome. And of course
where we got the Lee is partially off of AJ Lee. So it's still a wrestling tied name. So
oh, of course.
But you could also say it could also come off of Bruce Lee as well. So,
who's one of my favorites? And
yeah, I can only imagine Callie's reaction when Shane McMahon jumped off the top of the cell.
She was glued there for a little bit. Tiger, he's been too busy, kind of running his energy out tonight and chasing her around and everything. I mean,
oh boy.
She is only a year older than he is, so he's about 6 months old, so he's still got tons of energy and everything. Here, like she is doing right now, she's kind of starting to chill a little bit, but as soon as I put her down, he's going to be chasing her around again. And
I wonder if she would be channeling her like a cat version of Joey Styles. Oh my god!
Well, I don't know about that, but I definitely
because that's what I was doing as soon as that happened.
I kind of had to go RWA, and I was yelling "Holy freaking crap!" And yes, I actually was saying "Holy freaking crap" on that. I didn't say the other F word. I will not say it on here tonight.
I said that too. So, but yeah. I'm not gonna say it.
So, but I mean, my God, what a night it was! Hell in a Cell.
There's Tiger.
Hey, Tiger. So,
hey, Tiger.
I was gonna say, what an amazing night it was. Hell in a Cell. Overall reviews, and I know each and every one of you guys pre-predicted it between 6 and 7. I kind of got a feeling it surpassed it and then some. Open form as always, guys. Michael Bullock, if you want to jump first, if Dee Dee, you want to jump first, because you two both kind of have your mics unmuted. So whoever wants to go first, it is all yours.
Yeah, I'll jump in first. Yeah, I mean, going into this, I mean, I agree. I mean, I thought this was going to be somewhere between 6 and 7 out of 10, but after what I saw tonight, it far surpassed it. I'm going to give it about 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I mean, this was just awesome. I mean, the only matches that really disappointed were the WWE Championship match and the Dolph Ziggler Bobby Roode match. Other than that, everything else was just freaking awesome, including the 2 Hell in a Cell matches that really impressed the living daylights. And I would have to say the third best fight of the night had to go to that triple threat United States Championship match. So, but all in all, it was a damn good Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And all I can say is, Monday Night Raw, TLC, you certainly got a tough act to follow in a couple of weeks. That's right, Florio. I'm calling out your show, and they really need to step up in 2 weeks' time and see if they can try to top what SmackDown Live did for tonight's Hell in a Cell. So 8.5 to 9 out of 10 is my rating. Dee Woodson. What do you think? Did it far exceed for you?
Yeah, it far exceeded for me. And if y'all were wondering while Bullock was talking what you were hearing, Tiger was trying to eat my mic. So he's still teething.
Now, Tiger, don't be eating Dee Woodson's mic.
He's teething, so he was trying to chew on my headset mic, which I think he's going to try to do here.
It's certainly no cat food.
You'd be surprised what this cat chews on. Anyway, yeah, it definitely exceeded for me. I'm going to say 9 to 9.5. We only had maybe 2 major low points in the whole show, and then that one ending that I'm trying not to blow up too much on, because I think that Natalya just pretty much downgraded herself as a champion by doing it. Definitely, a heel type move, but at the same time, you're showing that you can't win it without cheating, and that's just not right. So, like I said, other than those few things, I mean, it definitely exceeded itself. Tiger, that is not something for you to chew on. Now they're watching you. If you try to attack my mic, they're going to see you do it. Okay?
Take it easy. Take it easy there, Tiger.
We got our eye on you, Tiger. Don't do it. You do not want to.
Or you know what I'm going to have to do to you, Tiger, if you continue to do that.
No. Mama's got it. She'll lay down the law on. Whoa, hey, you can't do that.
Oh, easy there.
You can't do that on TV. Wait a minute. You'll get us in trouble here on YouTube. Oh my God, you'll have Peter after our asses on that. Holy cow.
I'm going to have to say, Tiger, you just made the list.
Yeah.
Little wobbler.
No, he knows I go mama cat mode on him.
It seems like Tiger just popped up as soon as I said you just made the list.
I guess so.
Callie's got these little round bouncy balls like you'd use the old days when you play with jacks. She's heyday. I mean, that's a heyday thing for her. She loves those things, and she knocked one off the bed.
My eye on you, Tiger.
She knocked one off the bed just now, and that's what he perked up about. Is he heard her jump off the bed for that ball, so he's ready to go chase after her, I think. But,
okay. So Dee, are you good? 9 to 9.5 is yours.
9 to 9.5 is mine. So yeah, I think I'm pretty good on that. Because like I said, there's only 3 low points, and then they weren't even enough to lower the ranking too much because of that final match. I mean, that final match pretty much cemented it.
All right, Mr. Monday Night Raw. You called out the SmackDown Live. You called us out for the Hell in a Cell, said that we delivered. So far, we got an 8.5 to 9. We got a 9 to 9.5. I wonder where you're going. It's all yours, my friend.
Easy there, Romeo's. 8.5 out of 10. I will give it. I will give it an 8.5 out of 10 because of the 3 low points. There were 3 low points. The finish to the women's match, which was weak. The champ, Mahal and Nakamura, brutal. I don't know which one was worse. This was the SummerSlam bout. And then from there, Rude and Ziggler, which was a little bit of a snoozer for me. But other than that, I will admit it, 8.5 out of 10. That's the best I can go, honest to goodness. Far surpassed my expectations. I mean, considering the rather meh episodes of SmackDown Live we've been getting lately. If only we could get this on SmackDown Live each and every week, then the ratings would be up there. No doubt about it. I mean, We needed something. We needed that, that little dose of Shakespearean drama, and we finally got it in the form of both Hell in a Cell matches. I mean, I honestly thought the New Day and the Usos were going to be the show stealer. I never thought in my wildest dreams that Shane O'Mac and Kevin Owens were going to steal the show, and boy, howdy did they do it. I mean, both Hell in a Cell matches delivered in a major way, and this was a quality show, and I'm worried now. Well, before I tell you why, you want to compare the shows, the SmackDown Live version of Hell in a Cell compared to the Raw version last year in Boston. SmackDown Live won it. That's all there is to say about that. This, and you guys had 2 Hell in a Cell matches. My show last year had 3. And all 3 of them, well, were kind of, Roman and Rusev was great. The women's delivered, but Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins was, just there. But this delivered. I mean,
so do you catch a trend there, Anthony? If you put with Kevin Owens,
I said yes. I mean, we say what you want about the guy. I mean, Michael Bullock and I, we've always, cracked on him and called him the ice cream champ, a la Bullock's Uncle Brian, which got him blocked from Kevin Owens' Twitter account. But but hey, he was no ice cream champ tonight. He delivered. And so did Shane O'Mac and Sami Zayn for that hook of Shakespearean drama and the heel turn. I mean, we've been looking for that storyline progression that SmackDown Live has been known for. And tonight they finally gave it to us. We've been waiting for this for a while. And I can honestly say this was a better show than No Mercy. I mean, and No Mercy was really good too. And I'm glad Bullock reminded me of the Cena and Roman fight. That's also in my Fight of the Year contenders as well. So, oh boy, a couple of weeks. I mean, it's not looking good for the Red Brand. I got to be honest. Considering our Universal Champion is going to be in hibernation for the event, but he will, however, be back for the Survivor Series. That is confirmed. Praise God. So that'll definitely give us something to look forward to come next month in Houston. But oh Lord, but
and I forgot to mention one thing. I mean, about the tag team title match. Of course, I think the reason they put the titles back on the Usos because I think they're going to pull the trigger for what they're going to do at Survivor Series.
Yes, with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, absolutely. That would be a wonderful match. That's a perfect Raw versus SmackDown match.
Because of the war of words between the 2 teams.
Yeah, at their respective live events. Yes, so we can definitely confirm that for the Survivor Series, but we have to wait and see how it all goes down first. But MF, I salute you, and I salute SmackDown Live. Pains me as a Raw guy to do it, but in the immortal words of Wayne's World, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm scum. I suck. Let's move on.
And we're just going to call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you so much for staying up this late. It's about almost 12:45 in the morning, but hey, the show ran a little later, almost a half an hour later than it was supposed to. But at the end of the day, it delivered. It was an amazing night, and we got new champions galore, 2 Hell in a Cell matches that definitely delivered beyond belief. And now we are going to wait and see what the ramifications is on Tuesday night. However, there is another show, but it's on the Raw side, the Red Brand. Tomorrow night, Ridiculously Raw will be on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Anthony Foyo will be hosting that one, and we will have the recap of Monday Night Raw. And he's got his Tony's Take, 205 Live, and Impact Wrestling. Then on Tuesday night, come right back here again for another edition of the Cerebral Snack Talk, because what we got is the fallout from Hell in a Cell, and there's probably going to be a lot of fallout on this one. On top of that, we also will have the Mikey's Mindset. And yes, guys, we're going a little more deeper into Ultimo Lucha 3. And Anthony alluded to it a little bit about how awesome the show's been so far. We got more matches going in, including, like he said, Phoenix versus Marty the Moth Martinez, hair versus mask, and so much more. And until then, for Anthony Florio, for Didi Woodson, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on every platform of social media. And until then, for now, have a good night. So long for now. Hug the hand pounds and bye-bye, everybody.